Hello, Jen here. I want to read you a story one story from this book in this video, and I'll make a series until we read all of them. And it's from one of my all-time favorite writers, and it's one of my all-time favorite books. Wonder how many of you knew that E.e. Cummings, the amazing poet, wrote some fairy tales. And this book is so lovely. It's like so, it's fascinating. So it's by E.e. Cummings, and the pictures are by John Eaton. And I'm first going to read you the last story in the book. And it's called A Little Girl Named I. The letter I, not E-Y-E. So, yeah, the I in here, when it's referring to an I, it is a little girl. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named I. She was a very good little girl, wasn't she? Yes, indeed, very good. So one day, this little girl named I was walking all by herself in a green, green field. And who do you suppose she meets? A cow, I suppose. Yes, that's right. It was a yellow cow. So ever so politely, she says to this yellow cow, "How do you do?" And what does this cow say? Does it say, "Nicely, thank you very much"? Yes, it does. And so this little girl named I is very glad, and she invites this cow to come to tea. But this cow doesn't like tea. So then they say goodbye, and away goes I through the green, green field, all by herself. By and by, I was walking along, and I saw a white horse eating green, green grass. And what do you suppose this horse said? Did he say hello? Yes, he did. And so this little girl named I said, "Hello, too," just like that. And then they both laughed and laughed, and when they got through laughing, this little girl named I said to this white horse, "I'm going to have tea. Would you like to come along?" But this white horse didn't think he did. You mean he didn't like tea? Yes, that's right. And so then they said goodbye, and away goes I through the green, green field, all by herself. By and by, I was walking and walking, when whoever do you suppose I should find sleeping in the sun fast asleep? Was it a pig, perhaps? Yes, it was. A pink pig. And what did this little girl named I say? I suppose she said, "How do you do?" No, she didn't. Did she say hello? No, she didn't say hello. Well, then what did she say? She said, "Good morning, Mr. Pig. Are you asleep?" And do you know what this pig said? I guess he said he was. No, he didn't. Then I guess he said he wasn't. No, he didn't say that either. So there's a picture of the cow, and I'm gonna hope that you'll kind of see it. They're very ephemeral illustrations by John Eaton. There's not a lot of illustrations in the book, but what did this pig say? Well, he didn't say anything because he was asleep. So then I went tiptoeing away so as not to disturb him, because he was asleep. And ever so softly away goes I, through the green, green field, all by herself. Pretty. Soon this little girl named I saw a tree. What kind of a tree? It was a pretty big tree. Was it? It was. And who do you suppose was under this pretty big tree all by himself? I don't know. You tell me. Shall I? Yes. Was it a duck? No. Well then, what was it then? Why, it was an elephant. Really? Yes, it was. Now the pictures are a little behind the text, but this is the beautiful white horse. And then there's the sleeping piggy. Well now, and whatever was this elephant doing under the tree? He was eating, he was. Eating? What was he eating? He was eating bananas all by himself. Oh, you mean these bananas grew away up on the tree? Yes, they did. And he was pulling them down with his trunk and putting them into his mouth and eating them. He was. Well, well, what did the little girl named I say when she saw him do that? When she saw him eating the bananas, you mean? Yes. She said, "It's a pleasant day, isn't it?" That's what she said to him. And he said to her, "These bananas are delicious. Will you have one?" That was very nice of him, I think, to ask her if she'd like a banana. I think it was nice, too. So then this little girl said, "Thank you very much," she said, "but I'm going to have tea myself." Did she ask this elephant if he'd like to come to tea? She did. And what did he say? What do you think? What do you think? This elephant, he said, "Yes, I'd like to come to tea very much," he said. Then he came to tea? No, he didn't. I was that. I thought he said he'd like to come. He did. But then he said, "I think I'd better eat these bananas that are growing up here, because if I should stop, they'd grow faster than I can eat them." It was a very good answer. Yes, it was. So this little girl named I said to this elephant, "Are you joking with me? Shame on you." And he said, "Yes, I'm joking with you. Shame on me." And so then she made cupid eyes at him, and he made cupid eyes at her. And then away goes I, through the green, green field, all by herself. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Do you think she's going to eventually get someone to tea with her? We're going to find out. Who did she meet then? Well, she didn't meet anybody for a long, long time. But after a while, this little girl named I sees another little girl just like her. You mean this other little girl looked just like this little girl named I? Just like her. That was funny, wasn't it? Yes, it was. And I said to this little girl, "What's your name?" I said, "Because I'd like to know." And this little girl, she never said anything. Not anything? No. And then I said to this other little girl, just like this, I said, "Who are you?" And what did this other little girl say? "You. That's who I am," she said. "And you is my name, because I'm you." I suppose this little girl named I was surprised. I was ever so surprised. And what happened then? Then I said to you, "Would you like to have some tea?" I said. And you said, "Yes, I would," you said. And so you and we went to my house together to have some tea. And then we had some fine hot tea, I suppose, and some delicious bread and butter too, with lots and lots and lots of jam. And that is the end of this story. Ow. And there's a little bunny. A cute little bunny. So cute. Well, that's the first story I'm going to read to you out of Fairy Tales by E.e. Cummings, illustrated by John Eaton. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I love that story. It's very mysterious in a way, isn't it? With I and you. Little girl named I and you. It's fascinating. So anyway, this is Jennifer Angelina Petro here, and hope to see you again for the next story. Bye!